History tells us Alexander the Great conquered the world. But what if I told you a forgotten king almost stopped him forever? This is the story of the kingdom that challenged Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great is remembered as one of history's greatest conquerors, a king who marched across continents and reshaped the ancient world. But history rarely tells the story of the kingdom that nearly stopped him. In the far east of his empire, beyond Persia and into the lands of India, a powerful ruler stood his ground. His armies were vast, his elephants terrifying, and his pride unbreakable. This is the story of the forgotten kingdom that challenged Alexander the Great and changed the course of his conquest forever. By 326 BCE, Alexander of Macedon had already achieved what no king before him had dared to imagine. He had conquered Greece, crushed the mighty Persian Empire, and marched across deserts, mountains, and cities that had never seen a Greek soldier before. His empire stretched from the Mediterranean Sea to the mountains of Central Asia. To his followers, Alexander was not just a king, he was a living legend. But Alexander was not satisfied. He believed he was destined to reach the edge of the world. Beyond Persia lay India, a land of wealth, rivers, and powerful kingdoms. To the Greeks, it was mysterious and almost mythical. And in that land, one ruler refused to bow. Between the great rivers of the Indus Valley lay the kingdom of Parava. It was fertile, wealthy, and strategically powerful. Its ruler was King Porus. Greek historians described him as tall, proud, and commanding, riding into battle on a massive war elephant. Unlike many local rulers who surrendered to Alexander, Porus chose defiance. He commanded an army of tens of thousands of infantry, thousands of cavalry, chariots, and, most terrifying of all, war elephants. To Macedonian soldiers, elephants were monsters, living tanks that could crush men and horses alike. Porus understood the terrain, the rivers, and the strength of his kingdom, and he knew Alexander was coming. Alexander reached the Hydaspes River during the monsoon season. The river was swollen, raging, and nearly impossible to cross. On the far bank, Porus waited with his army. A direct crossing would have been suicide, so Alexander waited. For weeks, he staged fake crossings, moving troops back and forth to confuse Porus. Porus stayed alert, guarding every possible crossing point. But Alexander was a master of deception. One stormy night, he led a small elite force upstream, hidden by thunder, rain, and darkness. They crossed the river in secret and marched behind Porus's lines. By dawn, the trap was set. When Porus realized what had happened, he marched to meet Alexander in battle. The battlefield was muddy, chaotic, and drenched in rain. Porus deployed his elephants at the front, infantry behind them, and cavalry on the flanks. The sight was terrifying. The battle began with cavalry charges and volleys of arrows. Then the elephants advanced. They crushed Macedonian soldiers, trampled horses, and shattered formations. Some soldiers fled in panic. Macedon had never faced such beasts before. But Alexander adapted. He ordered archers and spearmen to target the elephant handlers. Without control, the elephants panicked and turned back into their own lines, causing chaos among Porus's troops. Slowly, the battle shifted. By the end of the day, Porus's army was broken. The field was covered in mud, blood, and shattered weapons. But Porus refused to run. After the battle, Alexander ordered Porus to be brought before him. He expected a defeated enemy begging for mercy. Alexander asked him how he wished to be treated. Porus replied simply, "Treat me as a king or treat another king." Alexander was stunned. He admired courage, pride, and honor. Instead of executing Porus, he restored him to his throne and even expanded his territory. Porus became an ally ruling his kingdom under Alexander's empire. It was a rare moment of mutual respect between two great rulers. The Battle of the Hydaspes marked the farthest point of Alexander's conquest. His soldiers were exhausted after years of war. They had seen elephants, heard stories of even larger Indian empires to the east, and feared what awaited them. When Alexander wanted to march deeper into India, his army refused. For the first time in his career, Alexander was forced to turn back. Porus had shown that Alexander's conquest had limits, The world was bigger and stronger than even Alexander imagined. After returning west, Alexander continued ruling his massive empire. But only a few years later, he died suddenly at the age of 32. Without him, his empire fractured into rival kingdoms. Generals fought each other for control, tearing apart what Alexander had built. Porus's fate is unclear. Some sources suggest he was killed during the chaos that followed, but his kingdom and people endured. Long after Alexander's empire collapsed. In Western history, Porus is often a footnote, a minor obstacle in Alexander's story. But in South Asian history, he is remembered as a symbol of resistance, pride, and sovereignty. The clash between Alexander and Porus led to cultural exchange between Greece and India. Greek art, coins, and ideas blended with Indian culture, influencing trade, science, and politics for centuries. It was not just a battle, it was a meeting of civilizations. Alexander the Great conquered empires and reshaped the ancient world. But at the edge of his journey, he met a king who would not bow. A forgotten ruler, riding an elephant into a storm, stood against the greatest conqueror in history and earned his respect. And in that moment, the unstoppable conquest finally reached its limit. If you enjoyed the cinematic journey into forgotten chapters of history, subscribe to Forgotten Dominion for more stories